Yeah. Okay, we're on the right track. Behold, the humble stock cube. Funny, isn't it, how you kind of take it for granted. You just buy this, like, block. You think, what is in this square of wonder? It's flavour packed, right? You put it in risottos, which we will later. You put it in soups. In fact, it can be a soup in itself. You put it in loads of things. You kind of trust it with your life. And I want to make my own. That is right, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, today I am attempting to make my very own homemade stock cubes or powder. We'll come on to that in just a bit, but the process itself is rather long indeed. So I think the first thing we'll do is get it going, and then we'll have a bit of a chat about it. And also, please bear in mind, outside my house at some stage in about the next half an hour or so, for the rest of the day, there might be insanely loud drilling because they're putting in some fibre optic broadband or something. Apparently they think the internet's going to take off. I don't believe in the internet myself. All right, let's take stock. As easy as applepie.com, they've got this recipe here for basically a model of homemade stock, and basically how you can mix it up with different vegetables and flavourings and herbs and spices, so we're going to do that. But they're basically mentioning what I just said at the start of the video, how you just like break in a stock cube, and it could be anything in there. Monosodium glutamate, caramel colour, fats, flavourings, preservatives. This is going to be natural, so it's going to be potentially good. And at the end, to justify it, we'll get Mrs. Barry to tie 2 different risottos. So this is going to be vegetable one, and we're not doing meat or anything like that today. We're not boiling down bones, anything crazy like this. We're going to use this sort of stuff. Oh, yes, my chopping board has turned into a garden. We've got 2 carrots, 2 celery, a big old stick of leek because I'm half Welsh, I want to put a bit of that in there, onion, garlic, some smoked paprika because it's mine. You can put any spices and vegetables and herbs and whatever you want to put in there. You can use anything you want, like tomatoes and all other crazy types of spices. The only other thing that will act as a preservative that goes with it is salt, because that will act as a preservative. It will stop bacteria and mold and mean that as long as you keep it in a cool, dry place, it will store for 3 months. So let me prep this. I've literally got the skin off the onions and the garlic and peeled the carrots and chopped them a teeny weeny bit, and also the stalks off some of the herbs. That's pretty much it. And you'll see that it weighs 600 grams. And we need 20%, which is 60 grams of salt. Right on top of there like that. That, somehow, in a few hours, you're still hot, is gonna be that. I'm gonna just add a little bit of smoked paprika, so like literally half a teaspoon like that, okay? Just because I want to put a little bit of barriness in there. We're gonna warm this up, keep stirring it from time to time for 2 hours. All right, you can hear it starting to sizzle already, but I haven't actually brushed around the paprika or the salt yet, so I'm gonna just do that. But what I can't understand is normally when I'm using a big old pot like that, I'm sticking oil and butter in there, like lubricants and flavourings to help it cook quicker. For this, you really need to keep your eye on it and make sure that you don't burn the bottom of your pan. What you're relying on is the moisture. You know, if you heard the term of sweating vegetables, we're gonna sweat the carrots. The moisture will come out of that, and we've got to simmer that all off and dry it right down. So the main thing to do, like I say, is just keep stirring it, I guess. I've never done this, but we're just gonna stir it from time to time. It smells amazing. Oh, well, look, can you see? We do have moisture in there. It's working. So this is basically my life for the next 2 hours. We're an hour in, and look at that moisture. We're just simmering that off, that's all we're doing. So much concentrated flavour in there. No joke, I've been sat here for about 25 minutes trying to read different websites, and they're all telling me different things about the actual difference between broth, bouillon, we're gonna call it bouillon, all right, sorry to annoy people, and just stock cubes. I think stock and bouillon is kind of like the same thing, and broth was historically kind of like simmered down like meats with the bones and stuff in, and also vegetables, kind of like what we're doing now, which is that. So I think that is what we're known as broth, and what stock turns into. I think that's what we're going with. I mean, that's what I've always thought, but I just wanted to make sure I get my stuff right, and really I'm not. I mean, ultimately what I want to be able to do is have something like that in a condensed form that I can drop into water like at the start of the video and just have it to hand. So I think that's basically what bouillon is. You see how that's like a powdered form? So we're probably today gonna make this, and as a bonus thing at the end, I might try and do this. It might not work. And don't get me started on the bouillon stuff as well, because some people, one website was like, no, it's the most horrendous thing ever. It's full of horrible stuff. And then the other thing was like, even on this, it's like, it's really healthy, gluten-free and gorgeous. I'll tell you what I do know. I know exactly what I've put in that pot, and just like any other recipe, that is a good thing. That has been 2 hours, and I'm now dumping, oh my gosh, I missed it. Can't see it too well. It's like Vegetables in the Mist, the sequel to Gorillas in the Mist. And the herbs have gone a little bit brown, but what do you expect? They've been there for 2 hours. Just do ensure that you stir it. It does smell really good though. But it's deceptive because there still will be moisture in there. So we're gonna whiz this up and then we have to dry it out again. Oh my gosh, it just tastes like the sea. The salt is still very strong in there. Perhaps once we've whizzed it together, that'll be better. Wow. I ain't doing it very well, is it? Maybe I'll do it in smaller batches. Yeah, that's better. Right, there we go. You see? Look how blended up that is. That's looking good, and we will blend it again, but you can see there's still all that moisture in it, which is why we now have to dry it in the oven. Yeah. This basically is probably extremely salty baby food. Oh, I forgot to say my salt calculation at the start when I said it was 600 grams of veg and it's 20%. I added 60 grams of salt. About an hour into the simmering, I did realise that. So there is the 20% in there, which probably is why it did taste like the ocean. I felt like Jack Sparrow for a bit. There we go. Just spreading it out so it's nice and thin. The thinner it is, obviously, it will dry out quicker. This reminds me a little bit of the steps I was doing on the homemade cornflake project, but that should do. And we're now going to bake it and dry it. I'll probably mix it a few times in between for an hour and a half. It might need more. I'll keep you posted. I've got nothing else to do. All right, it's been in there 45 minutes. I think, by the looks of it, it's quite dry already. But no, it's actually still a little wet, to be honest. So that's what we want. We want to mix it up, keep playing around with it, flattening it out, and making it so it's completely crisp. Gotta be honest, right now I'm thinking it's probably a lot easier to just go to the supermarket and buy a pack of them, isn't it? Right, this is definitely one of the weirdest things I've ever done. It's kind of got the texture now of the breakfast cereal Weetabix, which is great because it whiz up with what we want to do really, but I'm just finding a few little parts where it feels a little damp still. So I'm going to keep pushing on, and it's going to be about an hour and 45 baking total, I think. I mean, it's broken, it's flaky. I'm going to let it cool down, and then we're going to whiz it up, and hopefully we'll have our powder. It's still salty though. Ugh. But then again, you don't normally put a stock cube in your mouth anyway, do you? Look. Yeah. Okay, we're on the right track. That's salty too. Okay, so this is about a third of the total amount that I've got. I just think we made stock powder stuff. Cool. There's some bits are really, really ground up, and there's a couple that are still chunky. So I'm gonna get a rolling pin. I've basically made a vegetarian beach. There we go, look at that. And by putting it into a sealable jar like this, or some Tupperware, something like that, apparently, if we keep it cool and dry, so out of the sun and all that stuff, and obviously not wet, it will last for 3 months. But can we make it into a cube like that? It doesn't really matter. A bit like the tub of bouillon there, about a heaped teaspoon of this will be the same equivalent. It doesn't really matter. It's just a convenient way to store it. The only thing I can think of, which we'll check in the morning, is to fill an ice cube tray up, one of these squares, with it and just see if it all firms together. I'm not that confident in this working, but maybe the slight moisture in the freezer will bring this together a little bit, and it'll become some solid homemade stock cube block tomorrow. And I guess we'll find out about that, but let's see if this actually works and makes, you know, a brothy stock. So just like the start of the video, let's just see if we can get this going. I'm not expecting it to all dissolve, but I don't really mind that. Oh, yeah, baby. Yes. The only way to really compare it is to get someone who has not had the involvement in this to compare between this and the standard blocky cube thing. So I'm now going to make, I've made a mess there, 2 butternut squash risottos, okay? One with this and one with your standard cubey thing, and see if Mrs. B can tell the difference and see if one tastes better than the other. You know, I was just thinking this recipe could be a good sort of get out of jail thing. Imagine you go to the supermarket and they're out of stock. Come on now. Okay, I'm about to make 2 butternut squash risottos. This is how I'm gonna do it. To make the risotto, first of all, grab a butternut squash, peel it, de-seed it, and slice it into even-sized chunks. You're also gonna wanna slice up a couple of leaves of sage as well. This is gonna go down together on a baking tray with some olive oil. Don't be afraid to get your hands in there and just scatter it all around. Shove it in your oven to roast away for about 30 minutes. In a frying pan, we are gonna melt up some butter and add in a chopped onion and just fry them away for around about 8 to 10 minutes, basically just to soften them through. The rice is then gonna get stirred in with the onions, and you wanna get it nice and coated in the butter. It's probably gonna get quite shiny, and then the edges of the grain will actually start to look transparent. That is when you know it's time to proceed. The next step before adding in the stocks is to add some wine. Yep, that's wine. Make sure that's in there and just let it simmer and bubble away until it's completely evaporated off. Saucepan is going to be store-bought stock. I'm going to put my homemade one in this one. So this is for me where I had to divide it up, but for you, you would just add your 1 batch of stock in with your rice. Just do this gradually and warm it through with the rice. It'll take about 25 to 30 minutes. Just keep stirring and warm it all through until all your stock is used up. I don't want to be biased, but my one looks way more colourful and interesting. With the risotto done, you can take a batch of the squash and mash it up and stir it through, kind of like a baby food puree, into the risotto rice itself. You can also add in some parmesan and some butter, and then on top, scatter it with some remaining chunks of butternut squash and some sage. Mrs. Barry, it's over to you. They look blooming stonking.
Right, I'm ready.
I feel the pressure, I'm feeling nervous.
Okay.
And that one is a different one, and that's a different one.
Oh, I like them both.
Oh, that's good. Actually, that's actually really good, because if you like them both, that means I've done something right and it tastes...
They both taste really, really good.
Really? I have had a taste off camera, and for me there is a clear difference between one and the other, but that's my opinion.
Is that one yours?
No. No, it's not. No.
But can I say?
Yeah.
I prefer this one.
You do? Okay.
I honestly do prefer this one.
Well, I preferred that one. I tried it off camera as well. I tried both of them.
That makes it sound even worse. I prefer that one.
I know. We've got to be honest. Whoops.
Sorry.
On the floor. For me, it's richer.
Yeah.
And there's more flavor. It's only done like this one's a teeny bit more creamier.
Yes, I thought that as well. Got creamier
but the
taste.
homemade one's it's pushing more flavors in there, which it should, because I rammed a lot of food in there.
It's very tasty. Can't wait to have it for tea.
Yeah, we got a lot of risotto for dinner. Well, there we go. It worked. And I'll take that. But even though you liked the other one more.
No, I didn't.
You didn't?
I like this one more.
All right. The real winner right here is risotto.
Check your level, player. No matter what your style, the kitchen's for me. Simon's moustache, goatee, maybe all 3.
Good morning, internet. It's been an overnight set for those cubes. I had a look about 7 hours ago, and it was basically still powder. So I put a teeny amount of water in, and it kind of absorbed it. I'm gonna see what it looks like. All right. So bear in mind, I only made the one. There's a little bit of residue in there. Well, it's come out in one. You see the dust on top like that, or the dust. There's the powder, right? That's what it was like last night. So I put some moisture in there, and it's got about, I don't know, half the way down, and kind of created, you know, a stock cube. Yeah, what I've learned from this video, it doesn't really matter like how you have your stock. You could like put it in a hat if you want. It doesn't really matter. So I was thinking this is a really cool way, because this has effectively worked. Rather than keeping it in a jar for 3 months, you can keep it in the freezer forever. So I know obviously for me, the wacky stuff's always going to be the stuff that's like, oh my God, it's great. I want to do more and more. But this sort of stuff for me, I really enjoy. I've learned a lot today. Oh no, that was yesterday, but you get the point.